Today we'll start with Canto 2, the issue. So, how Savitri now has woken up and she has to be face to face with this foreknowledge that she already knew would happen. Now she has to fight it as if because she will go through it and then also kind of challenge that physical fate. So let's open the issue now, and maybe Aradhana ji can read until here, yeah, the yellow part.
A while, withdrawn in secret fields of thought, her mind moved in a many imaged past that lived again and saw its end approach. Dying, it lived imperishably in her, transient and vanishing from transient eyes, invisible, a fateful ghost of self. It bore the future on its phantom breast.
Yeah, thank you. So for a moment, for some time, Savitri was withdrawn in all the past, all the past images were coming to her, just like for us, for example, if I have to go through something, say, called a divorce, I have to go through divorce. So what would happen? I'll just recall all the moments of that led to my marriage, all that courtship, the dating, children, all that is kind of relived in my memories. So now today she has to be face to face with Satyavan's death, and that's why all the past comes back to her in her thoughts. So for a while, Savitri is withdrawn in secret fields. No one knows about it. It's even when I am or you are, we all are lost in our thoughts of past. No one is aware of it. Only we know. There are secret fields of thought. Her mind moved in a many imaged past, like imagery after imagery, like uh, uh, beautiful kind of situations that they had lived together, how she met Satyavan and how she convinced her parents to live with him, and all that is coming in images. All the past is coming in images back to her. In her mind moved in many imaged past that lived again and saw its end approach like a tapestry of events. So it's like she's seeing at the moment, is it like a continuing tapestry of events. So this is what is happening, like back to back, back to back, back to back. And now this is how the end will be approaching by Satyavan's death. So all that beautiful story so far, as if it's approaching its end. Dying, it lived imperishably in her. Even we, as human beings, because this is our story, no matter how far we may have come in our journeys, a part of past we always carry, sometimes knowingly, sometimes unknowingly, in the form of samskaras, vrittis and tendencies and patterns. We don't even know from which past life it is coming, maybe not from this life directly, but we live it out. So, although it's a dying past, yet it lived imperishably in her. Transient and vanishing from transient eyes. So, all the events that happen in our lives, they are transient events, they come and go, they come and go. Just like that, our physical eyes are also transient. We leave these eyes when the body is gone, when we die, when the body is dead. So transient, these images, this past, and vanishing from transient eyes. Invisible. So all this past is invisible, but it is a fateful ghost of self. All these events of the past have led to today, the fate of Satyavan dying, a fateful ghost of self. All this story is Satyavan's story, it's Savitri's story, no one can deny it. So it is still there, though invisible, the past. It bore the future on its phantom breast. So this past on which the story is written, as if that past was raw material for today to come. It is bearing this future on its phantom breast. Why phantom? Because it's not there. You cannot see the past right now with my eyes. But I know that it was once real and I have lived it. So it's phantom, but it's there. It's phantom and it's there. It's invisible, and because of its presence, only today I am to face whatever I am to face. Yeah.
Monica, I have a question.
Ji.
Like, not, I don't know what it's a question or not, but you know how when it's like they say ki when you're about to die, sometimes they
Yeah.
even show it in movies,
Yeah.
that how your whole life, like things that you don't even remember, right? Like when you are a year old, 2 year old, and all.
Yeah.
I've read it in some books also
Yeah.
that you see it's like a film that gets played, right?
That's
Okay,
true.
this, and then you come back to where you are, and then you leave your body.
Beautiful.
तो
Beautiful.
this probably seems to have some more, है ना, कुछ ऐसा लग रहा है अंदर को इसका और कोई पर्पस भी है, this again
Definitely.
seeing of like a conclusion के this is what got me here, or I don't know, like some
Yeah.
checks के ये सब देखा, I
Beautiful.
don't know, it is for
Yeah, I'm sure it has a very, very deep reason. And also, I think we should, just like, we are doing in circles nowadays, and also in our own individual journeys, these pauses of looking back at our lives. I think this is very, very important part, must be an important part of our lives. Otherwise, as we discuss, on circles, that we just go on and on and on and on and on. No reflection is happening, no reflection of the past events is happening.
mm,
Because when we connect to these events of the past, as if there is something more in me which begins to see a larger picture, which usually is kind of hidden from the normal eye.
mhm.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Yeah, would you like to read, Taru?
Yeah, along the fleeting events far backward trail regressed the stream of the insistent hour, regressed the stream of the insistent hour, and on the bank of the mysterious flood, people with well-loved forms now seen no more, and the subtle images of things that were, a witness spirit stood reviewing time.
Yeah, here you go, you were asking. So this is the witness spirit, one who is witnessing, but because normally we don't give it time, we don't kind of give ourselves time to sink into the witness spirit. And that is why these pauses are really very, very important. They also give us more energy and more spirit to live the life further ahead, not only just reflecting the past but also going further ahead in life. Yeah, so along the fleeting events far backward trail, now she's, as if, I'm imagine that we are standing in a river. You have pebbles on your feet. It's not a very deep river, maybe a stream. And on your left is past and on your right is future, what we call future. So this is how a tapestry of past, present and future, it's a continuing stream that Sri Aurobindo presents this picture in front of us, regressed the stream of insistent hours, as she's going back in time in her head, as if she's reproaching that stream again, the stream of past. And I have also, just continuing with what maybe what Taru shared, hinted at, and furthering from there, I think maybe I read in a book or somewhere, I don't remember. Maybe it was Anita Murjani's book, where it was like she saw past, present, and future all happening simultaneously. Like you can access your past right now, you can access your future right now. And that's why I think that is also somewhere connected to these moments of deja vu, where you have already lived that future. A part of you have already lived that future. But then when it dawns, because half of us does not remember, half of me is not in conscious remembrance that I have lived it. It comes like a surreal image. So we can access, we can heal the wounds of the past in the present because we can access the past. It's a practical reality, it's not figment of imagination. Just like that, we can also access future, but we have to kind of work upon these. We have to master these movements more and more. There's so much we can do actually, uh, controlling our own life and mastering it, recreating it, and healing the past wounds. So now she's regressing the stream of insistent hours, and on the bank of this mysterious flood of the past, the imagery, peopled with well loved forms now seen no more. How now she's gone back in time, and now as she's coming back to the present, as if those images are fading away. It did happen, but now she cannot see it anymore. The subtle images of things that were, the images are very subtle, they are not concrete images like passing hazy images. Her witness spirit stood reviewing time. This is the reviewal, maybe what Taru also hinted at, that happens before death, just before one is about to die. Yeah, as one kind of sinks back in the spirit consciousness, because mostly we are living on the level of body consciousness, mind consciousness. Once we go back in the spirit consciousness, then this witnessing ability, looking at the larger picture, comes to us naturally.
Even this line, people with well loved forms, also seems like, people she who have left their body now and she was looking at them and now she don't see them anymore.
Yeah,
Like this well loved
quite
forms,
well
right?
be. Yeah, yeah, quite well be. Totally, yes. Yeah,
Do
yeah.
I read or you are reading?
Yeah, you read?
Oh, you wanted me to read or are you reading? I'm so
नहीं
sorry
नहीं
I
नहीं नहीं,
interrupted you.
मैं तो शुरू ही नहीं किया, आप शुरू करो.
Okay. All that she once had hoped and dreamed and been flew past her eagle wing through memory's skies. I'll read that again.
Yeah,
All that she once had hoped and dreamed and been flew past her eagle wing through memory's skies, as in a many-hued flaming in a dawn, her life's broad highways and its sweet bypaths lay mapped to her sun-flare recording view from the bright country of her childhood days and the blue mountains of her soaring youth, and the paradise groves and peacock wings of love, to joy clutched under the silent shadow of doom. In a last turn where heaven raised with her.
yeah. Thank you. So now she's again in the past, memories of the past. She has lived all that she once had hoped and dreamed and been. All that as if she was now given an eagle view of those memories. Flew past her eagle winged. All that past, the thoughts flew past her eagle winged, just giving her a broader view of all that through memory's skies, as in a many hued, flaming inner dawn. So now this is referring to When grace comes to us, when divine grace, because of divine grace, we are able to look at our life in a different light, not as a limited person and an individual, but a broader picture, or not as a just a limited ego only, much a broader picture, like from the spirit's point of view. When the divine grace shines in us, that is what it is referring to as in a many hued flaming inner dawn. Inner dawn is happening. Inner dawn, inner spirit is lit up. And that is why she's able to have this broader view, like a vast view of all the life lived until now. Her life's broad highways and its sweet bypaths. Now she's having, imagine you have become an eagle, and now you are looking at the city, little lanes and the major roads, the highways. This is how our life also goes. Looks like a main highway, and then there are little moments where you meet little people. Maybe they don't remain friends for a long time, but you meet them, and those are sweet memories. Maybe you had, like, maybe you uh, have many relationships, or you visit a few places, and you have, they were not very big places like major happenings in your life, but those places leave a real sweet kind of fond memories in our heart. So that is how her life is now looking to her. Her life's broad highways and its sweet bypaths lay mapped to her sun clear recording view. Now, this is the spirit. This is the eye of the spirit, eye of the inner being, which clearly records the light of consciousness, which keeps on recording all these. It may not be there in our conscious memory, but it is all there in our subconscious memories. From the bright country of her childhood days and the blue mountains of her soaring youth. In youth, we have so much of energy. We can move mountains. We can do, we follow our passions and ambitions. And that is why the part where her soaring youth is there on the map, it shows as blue mountains, where one has a lot of zeal and enthusiasm and energy and vibrancy, and the paradise groves and the peacock wings of love, when she spent her time with Satyavan. All those places she visited with Satyavan, the kind of time she spent with him. Along with that, also a memory of joy clutched under the silent shadow of doom, because the moment she knew that Satyavan will die after an year, after that, all the joys that she lived through, as if they were clutched. I imagine you're clutching something, hiding it so that nobody can take it away. That kind of a clutching. To joy clutched under the silent shadow of doom, the impending doom that was to come. In a last turn where heaven raced with hell. Last turn because today is the day when Satyavan must die. So that's why referring to the last turn. 12 passionate months led in a day of fate. So, just like how our past lives give birth to the present experiences of life, they're all interconnected. And we will come further in our in this canto only, the lines that we'll read, how the previous lives are so well connected with the life that we are right now living, but we don't have a conscious memory of it. Just like that, in this life, those past 12 passionate months led, gave birth to this day of fate. Today, when Satyavan must die. Yeah.
Monica, on the same lines, like
Yeah.
the thing you just highlighted, na, upar wala, if
Ji.
you see this, all that she once had, hope, dreamed and been. अब
Yeah.
देखो इसमें भी it feels like तीनों realms के बारे में बात करें ना. Been मतलब जो real actually में हुआ,
Mm,
hope मतलब जो सटल उस पे तुमने विश किया, एंड ड्रीम मतलब जो सबकॉन्शियसली यू लिव्ड, है ना, ऑल द थ्री realms
And the physical realm, yeah.
and the physical जो being, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah. So, anything more here? Anything you want to share on these lines?
नहीं, but that was it. It
Just
was nice to see the
keep
three
sharing.
realms.
Yeah. So, Aradhana ji, would you like to take these green highlighted portion?
Yep. An absolute supernatural darkness falls on man sometimes when he draws near to God. An hour arrives when fail all nature's means, forced out from the protecting ignorance, and flung back on his naked primal need. He at length must cast from him his surface soul and be the ungarbed entity within.
Maybe one more line.
That hour had fallen now on Savitri.
Yeah, thank you. So now it's referring to this dark night of the soul. It gets a reference in many mystic teachings, mystic writings. The dark night of the soul, or the cloud of unknowing. Many mystics have, even Saint of Teresa of Avila, and all these, even Catholic saints have also written about it, their own experiences, where when one is to just kind of unite with God within, a supernatural darkness falls. And there is no kind of reason why it has fallen. It is kind of, imagine that that is the only way how you reach God within. So that is what is referred to in these lines. Let's go through this. An absolute supernatural darkness falls on man sometimes when he draws near to God. Why this darkness is there when we are approaching God? Because God is full of light. So why this darkness? And there can be many layers to this. We can go at length about discussing it, and do share whatever comes to you. One thing is that we must stand there alone. Nature means cannot help us there. It's like you are naked and you are standing in your nakedness now to meet God, to be dissolved in God. And because we are so used to all these layers of protection, of ignorance, of all our egos and tendencies, these are nothing but means of protection from the divine light, unless we are ready. So at that very moment, when a very proximity to God is happening, a kind of a darkness one has to go through, mystics have to go through. On man, sometimes when he draws near to God, an hour arrives, kind of a void, a blank void. You can't make sense of anything. Why? You imagine, these Catholic nuns, they have been practicing for so long, and then dark night of soul happens to them. So you cannot reason it out. Why is it this happening to me? Because I have been, in such a good state of consciousness so far. So why is this happening? But there is a reason behind this also happening. An hour arrives when fail all nature's means which were protecting me so far, forced out from the protecting ignorance. Now, ignorance is nothing but like a curtain. Imagine that you have a curtain in your room, and because the sun is so bright, you put that curtain in the room. Now, if I just remove all the curtains, maybe I'm not yet ready to have all that light, all that force in my being. The being is not prepared. So far, the curtain of ignorance had been protecting. As and when I get ready, so much of light will be revealed to me. But now, when I am making myself ready and ready and ready, then at once this curtains of ignorance has to be shed. So I'm lying in my nakedness. I'm completely vulnerable and unarmed, naked, vulnerable to meet God. And there is a darkness one has to go through sometimes. And flung back on his naked primal need, the primal need of survival. We all want to survive, and that need actually is coming from the thing that we all are actually immortal beings, and that is why this tendency to not to accept death so easily. We all suffer with that. We all want to for this play to go on and on. Even doctors and science working on increasing the longevity of life, human life. Why? Because we are immortal beings. Flung back on his naked primal need, he at length must cast from his surface soul and be the ungarbed entity within. Now, if I am to arise from this darkness, I must cast off this surface soul of desires from me. Sri Aurobindo refers to the presence of one true soul and the other we call as desire soul. जब हम कहते हैं ना कि मेरी मेरी आत्मा की इच्छा है कि तेरी शादी हो जाए पहले मेरे मरने से, that इच्छा, तृष्णा, आशा तृष्णा. Kabir also says, Asha Trishna Namari. So that desire soul which has been propagating itself through ages, through lifetimes, that now must be now shed off. That cannot live anymore. It is a burden on us. And now what must be revealed? Only the light of the divine within each one of us. That now has to take charge. Because so much of darkness, so much of pain, and so much of doom, only when that light comes into command, that can handle all this darkness and unveil a new dawn. So that is what is happening to Savitri. That hour had fallen now on Savitri like a deep darkness. And now, what is this darkness hinting at? That Savitri's ungarbed entity, the soul from within the Savitri, the spirit has to rise. There is no other option but to rise. Yeah. Yes. Okay. If there is anything, just feel free. And if not, take these lines ahead.
While you,
Yeah.
a point she had reached where life must be in vain, or in her unborn element awake. I just read that again. A point she had reached where life must be in vain, or in her unborn element awake, her will must cancel her body's destiny, for only the unborn spirit's timeless power can lift the yoke imposed by birth in time.
Yeah. Thank you. So now, this also refers to our normal human lives, where in the moment of crisis only a deep spirit we can touch. In a normal day-to-day life, we are not able to somehow, owing to so much of resistance, so much of things that we feel are worthy of being attended to, we don't give it time. So what happens when a moment of crisis happens? A deep moment of crisis where the mind goes numb, so-called then darkness of that was being referred to, the dark night of the soul. The mind goes numb. It does not know how to handle the situation. only in those moments we are able to shine out the light of the spirit within us, because we realize that we feel helpless, we cannot do anything. So far my surface personality has been living life, and it has been pretty kind of managing well. So far day to day affairs, managing children, and the homely affairs, it has been managing well. So there is not much need of me being in touch with the spirit within, right? और मे बी लेट इट टेक द कमांड. अब अर्जुन को कृष्ण को सारथी बनाने की कब जरूरत पड़ी? इन द मिडल ऑफ कुरुक्षेत्र, when his mind goes blank, I don't know what to do. Otherwise in day to day affairs Arjun was doing fine, he did not have this confusion or this immense darkness, that what to do, I don't know how to take the step ahead. And that is why these moments of darkness are full of promising light, and that is why the challenging periods of our lives bring always, if we give them a chance, a newer dawn in our lives. So it also gives us a lot of inspiration not to run away from the challenging moments, or not to want them to just get over soon, but to go through them in faith and in courage and strength as much as possible. That yes, it will reveal to me something of which I have been ignorant so far. As if, our own deeper depths continuously get revealed to us through these moments of challenging times and dark periods. So that is what is happening now. Now the Krishna inside, the spirit inside has to take charge. A point she had reached where life must be in vain, or in her unborn element awake. Her will must cancel her body's destiny. Now the destiny of the body is hard ingrained. Imagine कि हमारे साथ हो ऐसा. Somebody says this person is to die. We cannot think of challenging that death. We would say हाँ इसका तो समय होगा, right? So physical destiny, it is so hard ingrained, it is so tough to change. And Savitri, being the divine mother, she's challenging even that. The spirit, the strength is so strong that although as human beings we take care of these mental and emotional parts, we keep on canceling them. जो part हमें ठीक नहीं लग रहा है, what do? We kind of cancel it out in our head. ये उसके बारे में सोचना ही नहीं है, वो कर सकते हैं हम. Emotional level पे भी so far we can go. What to do about the physical level, the physical destiny? So here Sri Aurobindo points that even the physical destiny can be changed if the will in the human being awakens in the eternal being seated within himself. So if my own will, which usually acts on the surface, now acts from within that eternal immortality present within me, from that solid faith, that solid certitude, that yes, all can be done if the God touch is there. If I act from there, seated from there in Krishna consciousness, then I can even work on changing physical fate. This is how Sri Aurobindo is giving us a clue to this sunlit path which can be walked upon. So what should happen? Either she should, or all this life appears just in vain, or what can save all this is that unborn element, that element in all of us which cannot die, is not born. Unborn element, जिसकी गीता में भी बात की गई है, जिसे कोई तीर नहीं छेद सकता, कोई मृत्यु उसको नाश नहीं कर सकती, वो unborn element has to get now awake in Savitri if she is to get confronted with death, the physical destiny. Or in her unborn element awake, Her will must cancel her body's destiny. The body's destiny which has been coming from the past karmas. We don't know where it is coming from, that the Satyavan must die. We don't know. But Sri Aurobindo is challenging that this can be done. For only the unborn spirit's timeless power can lift the yoke imposed by birth in time. Now, this is referring to the astrological destiny that we bring with ourselves. You know, all the past lives, the past deeds, all the karmas, all the tendencies, the burden of those tendencies, the burden of all those personalities that I have lived. What can take off that burden? Only the unborn spirit's timeless power. So Sri Aurobindo is saying this can be done. I think this is really inspirational, beautiful. So imagine, each moment of our life, we have a past, right? Maybe somebody said something in the morning and it weighs upon us. The moment I get deeper in touch with my inner being, I can just erase all that past and become new again. Amazing. Matlab, here it is just like a sutra of, sutra of how to be fresh again, how to be new again, how to live your life from a new perspective again, how to let go of the burden of even the morning, even the yesterday's talk I had with somebody. That is what Sri Aurobindo is saying, that yes, living light is possible. Only possible when I am able to to live from the deeper depths of my being, from the depths which are touching the unborn spirit within me. Because that is not dependent on the time. What happened in the morning must have nothing to do with it at all if it wants to recreate a new future. So this really I found it really amazing and inspirational, that this is something which we can use in our day to day life, not only waiting for some difficult challenge to happen, losing someone, and maybe waiting for a disease to happen कि कब मैं touch करूंगी अपनी depths. Not there. Even if something is weighing me from 2 minutes ago, I can immediately cut it off, the burden of past. How? If I get in touch, if I give my will, offer my will to the divine will, which is seated in the unborn spirit. That is what is meant by letting thy will be done and not mine. Because my will is to stay in the past. My will is to ruminate upon the past for as long as I want. This is my will. What is thy will? Thy will is to immediately shed off the burden of the past and become a new person again. This is also referring to how we can exercise our free will, shuffling from surface consciousness to a deeper consciousness within. So this is how we can shed off the burdens and destiny of the past, and we can actually become free of all the karmas of the past. Only when I am allowing myself within myself to let the divine will in action, and the divine will never want me to ruminate, to regurgitate the past events, whether it is from yesterday, from the morning, or from maybe years ago. Yeah. Anything at this? Yeah. Okay. And grace, grace can cancel human destiny. I've read from mother's writing somewhere, only grace, if we allow divine grace to actively take over our life, it can cancel human destinies. We are rid of the past karmas if we become this instrument of the divine each moment. It's really beautiful. And then the true vital within us shines, the true vital being, the emotional being, the true emotional being within us gets the power to shine. The true mental being within us gets the power to shine. We get more and more strength as the divine will comes in command, in action. Yeah.
मोनिका,
Yes.
like जैसे मदर हमेशा बात करते हैं to get in touch with the psychic being
Yeah.
within.
Yeah.
मैं ऐसे ही सुबह सोच रही थी, getting in touch with psychic being, if somebody has touched, तो what I know for the person who has touched it, it's a gunge ka good, like maybe will not be able to
Yeah.
put into words. But is it a feeling, or is it like you see something, or
Nothing. Nothing. देखो हम देखते तो वैसे ही रहते हैं ना आराधना जी. We see already so many things, we feel so
yeah,
many things, and that becomes a burden on us.
yeah. So what is it that when you say in touch with your psychic being, is it a different feeling, or what it is like?
Yeah, yeah, I can understand where you are coming from.
Yeah,
But we cannot measure
yep,
it in terms of feelings and emotions and all that. We cannot measure it. It is
yeah,
not the same dimension.
yeah.
So it would be really in vain to talk about what is it. If one can say in a negative sense that it's not a feeling,
Mhm.
it's not a sensation, and it's
But
not of the mind.
but
That
how would somebody know? But
you
obviously, then they would
you
know when
would
it is.
only you would know. That is the beauty.
Okay.
Only you would know, and then there would be no doubt about it.
Yeah.
है ना? तो self doubt and all that burden will be cleared in that moment.
Mhm. Okay.
So because if I talk about maybe talking about what kind of a feeling is it, that also becomes a burden, कि अच्छा
Yes.
इस तरह
Yes.
की feeling. So it is just not all the burdens that we can talk about.
Yeah.
So it
Okay.
can be talked about, but in negation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So here when it is said her will must cancel her body's destiny, so we, as we have also discussed in some other sessions, that we are not just one entity, we are multiple entities within this being. One is, जैसे कहते हैं ना हिंदी में, अन्नमय पुरुषा, प्राणमय पुरुषा, this mental being, manomaya purusha. So all these layers as if are existing parallelly in us, and all these layers have kind of, they are intermingling with each other. They are not separate, they are separate per se, but they interact with each other. So for example, if I am having at the moment a mental clarity, that mental clarity I can use in order to direct the energies of my emotional being. So these two beings in me, the mental being and the emotional being, are as if talking to each other. So if one being gets sorted at one point of time, it can exert its influence or power of clarity on the other beings. So here also just reminded me when it is said that her will must cancel. So the will has the power to exert itself on the physical level, the subtle physical level, the emotional level, and the mental level. So if any part of my being gets a clarity, that clarity can help the other parts of being to get clarity and get sorted. Right? For example, I may be a person who is driven by life force. My vital is kind of really very excited all the time. If I get a mental clarity at one moment of time and I understand things from a mental perspective, that mental clarity I can use to stop the unwanted excitement of the life force within me. This is what I wanted to say. Like one can exert will on the other parts of the being. Usually, how we live life is all these parts are intermingled with each other. We don't even get to know. A full lifetime passes by, and I don't even get to know that this is possible. That I can sort as if I'm sorting, drawers within my being. Like this is the mental domain, this is the emotional domain, and this is the physical domain. And then comes the psychic being or the soul, right? So they all kind of talk with each other, can help each other mutually. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Who would like to read? I don't know whose turn is it?
I'll go, even I don't remember. Only the self that builds this figure of self can raise the fixed interminable line that joins these changing names, these numberless lives, these new oblivious personalities, and keeps still lurking in our conscious acts the trail of old forgotten thoughts and deeds, disown the legacy of our own buried self, the burdensome heirship to our vanished forms, accepted blindly by the body and soul.
Yeah. Thank you. So it's the story of how we create our story, Only the self in S capital, only the eternal self that builds this figure of self. I have created that I want to be this and this person in this life. I created this story as an immortal self, the eternal self. I wanted to go through these experiences of life. Only the self, the creator, the director, the producer, and also the role player, only the self that builds this figure of self, the little self, can raise, means erase, can raise the fixed interminable line. Because see, I directed, I chose this story of my life. We may forget it. We usually live a life in oblivion. We don't even realize that I created. Being a victim of puppet of situations, we don't realize that we did create it, but we have forgotten about it. So Sri Aurobindo refers here that only the one that has created all these figures has the power to raise, to completely clean, start afresh, can raise the fixed, interminable line. This line continuing from my past lives of innumerable personalities that I have been. Maybe I was a man in a certain past. Maybe before that, kind of a transgender. Whatever. I'm just referring to various personalities that I have been. Interminable line of these personalities that I have been in past. So all that burden of past, which I at the moment also carry unknowingly through my samskaras, through my tendencies, that joins these changing names, changing names over lifetimes. So I may be Monica in this life, you may be Taruna and Aradhana in this life, but we were not always Aradhana, Taruna, and Monica. We were something else before that, and something else before that, and something else before that. So as if there is this interminable line of my changing names, numberless lives. Only the self, the eternal, immortal, unborn within me, has the capacity to shed all that off in a moment. And yeah, these new oblivious personalities and keeps still lurking in our conscious acts. So all that past of old personalities, they are present as if like a ghost in my day-to-day activities. I don't even know why I act this way. I don't even know why my walk is like that. Maybe it's coming from some other life. It still keeps lurking in our conscious acts, the acts which I engage myself into day-to-day activities. It is still there. The trail of old, forgotten thoughts and deeds. We have no memory of past karmas. And also, it is a big blessing in disguise because we will not be able to live this life if I am to reminded of my old karmas and deeds. I'll not be able to live because I may have done blunders apart, innumerable blunders I may have done in previous lives. And that is the beauty of forgetfulness. The trail of old. Yeah. What did you say, Taru? Didn't get it. I may,
So
acha,
you are
got it. Yeah, I'm sure I have done. Yeah. Uh, yeah, where was I? The trail of old, forgotten thoughts and deeds disown the legacy of our buried selves. Only the self, so it is all connected, all these lines. It is referring that only the eternal, in unborn self within, if I get in touch with that, if I give over my command to that, only that has the capacity to completely disown all the buried selves, the legacy that they have given me, the burden that they have given me. They have given me experiences too, but most of them linger on me like burdens. Imagine how difficult it is to get rid of our tendencies. We have attached ourselves too much to them. Feels कि मेरा अस्तित्व ही नहीं है अगर tendency नहीं है तो. So that burden on our shoulders can be gotten rid of, and I would say each moment it can be gotten rid of if I am able to get in touch with the unborn within, each moment sinking to my deeper depths, so that the morning talk does not weigh upon me, so that the yesterday does not weigh upon me. It's like a shameless life, I would say. Because if you talk about what I did yesterday, I can sink in shame. Yes, I'm ready to sink in shame, but that would again be, I'm allowing my surface personality to live. I'm not giving the command over to my unborn self. So what do I learn from doing blunders in life? I sink deeper and deeper in my unborn and eternal spirit. This is how we can go on further, because the burden can really weigh us down. It has the capacity. Even people around us will keep on reminding कि तूने ये किया था कल परसों तरसों, whatever. So people also will not keep their mouth shut off. Now it is up to me, the strength in me, whether I really love myself so much that I can be, regardless of any shame or guilt of my past actions and deed, and I use them all as a poignant sword to go deeper within my being and to touch, give over the command to my divine will within, to the Krishna within. Now giving over the chariot to Krishna within. And this has to be done again and again, incessantly. It is not कि एक बारी दे दिया तो हो गया. That is the kind of intensity of the past burden that we carry. That the burden is so heavy, and it comes on sticking again and again in innumerable ways, that we have to hand over the reins of the horses, the life, to the divine again and again, ruthlessly, incessantly, shamelessly. That is a life, worth lived. Yeah, just let me go through the lines again, and then maybe if I'm missing something, then we can close. Only the self that builds this figure of self can raise, means erase, the fixed, interminable line that joins these changing names, these numberless lives, these new oblivious personalities, and keeps still lurking in our conscious acts, the trail of old forgotten thoughts and deeds, disown the legacy of our buried selves, the burdensome heirship to our vanished forms, the forms which are vanished. My old lives I have no memory of. They are vanished forms, but I'm still carrying a burden, a legacy from them. They are still a part of me, accepted blindly by the body and soul. So all that burden experiences of the past are in the moment accepted blindly by me as a body, as a soul. They are accepted blindly. And what is this soul? This is the desire soul. जो आशा तृष्णा पिछले जन्मों की नहीं मरी, जो अभी भी जारी है, वो कैरी फॉरवर्ड रहती है. इट कैरीज फॉरवर्ड आगे की तरफ. So I am living the ashas and trishnas of my previous lives. How do I give it a stop? In each moment I vow to myself to get in touch deeper and deeper with my being, with my inner being, and hand over the reins to my deeper self. Saying I don't want to ruminate over the past, whether it is a past which is I am living right now, or if it's a past which I have lived in earlier lifetimes. I don't want to go there. There is nothing lying there. And then we can be fresh again. Full of all the vital energy, then comes back to the present moment. We can direct it wherever it is needed for the right action. Yeah. Yeah. Further, I think we can take in the next sessions. Anything from here?
ये जो burdensome heirship है और legacy, मतलब it's so odd that we see how much wrong we have done, or I mean I don't know the word wrong, but in a sense overall we have so many things that we wish we could have done that or we would have done that, but जब वो देने की बात आती है then we don't want to give it away, right? ऐसा लगता है जो भी है तो मेरा, बट वो मेरे को जो नुकसान पहुंचा रहा है irrespective it's mine, right? So
Yeah.
this burden some heirship, right? कि राजगद्दी मिल रही है, but it's like a throne of swords, the जो भी वो था serial Game of Thrones wala types, as in we don't even know what we are, I mean we know, and we know it's burdensome and still we take it because it's ours, because we don't know any other way.
Yeah.
मतलब ये पूरे उसमें आज ये जो वही pauses कि कर क्या रहे हो है ना, तो that attention somehow is coming out again and again. Yep, जैसे even ये जो first 4 lines, only the self that builds the figure, as in you're playing a game, right? So cricket चल रहा है and you're just shouting and screaming and running and stuff, and like कुछ justifications नहीं, कुछ नहीं, you just leave the bat and you walk off the ground, right? कि यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं है. I entered the game, I can come out, and मतलब this, what am I doing, kind like that thing by grace, जैसे जो ऊपर था, it can claim itself.
Beautiful. Yes.
Very beautiful the way it's coming.
Yeah. And these are life changing lines. मुझे लगता है
Yeah.
कोई भी बंदा अभी इस समय जो डिप्रेशन में हो, और अगर वो ये लाइंस सुन ले और समझने के लिए तैयार हो कि यस, राइट दिस मोमेंट आई कैन लीव ऑल दैट बर्डन, आई थिंक दैट वुड बी रियली मिरेकल हैपनिंग. या.
This Savitri is becoming like an adventure now. It is like ऐसा लगता है कि अच्छा अब और आगे क्या सीखने को मिलने वाला है इसमें.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for joining, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.